in this problem they have provided draw the development of lateral surface of the lower portion of a cylinder of diameter 45 mm and height 60 mm when sectioned by a plane inclined at 40 degree to HP and perpendicular VP and bisecting. So which represent bisecting means we are going to bisect over here and we are going to view how your profile looks like. Okay, so for this first we are going to develop our x-axis and y, that is your xy plane. So I develop my xy plane first. Let us consider this as your x and this as your y, and we keep this as VP and this one as HP. Okay, after this, in this problem they have clearly provided that it is a cylindrical object. For cylindrical object, your base as well as the bottom, the base and bottom followed by the top and the upper surface were found to be same. Okay, that means it is moreover like a circular object. So now what we are going to do is that we are going to consider our circle. So over here they have provided the diameter as 45 mm. Okay, they have provided the diameter as 45 mm. Now we want to know the radius. Okay, for radius 45 divided by 2, which is equal to 22.5 mm. Okay, now what we are going to do over here is we are going to take our compass, place it over here and measuring 22.5 means it is 22.5 means it will be over here. So I am going to develop my circle over here. Okay, I have developed my circle. Second, I have developed my circle over here. The okay, then followed by mark its center point, that is compass tip. When you do in your class you can able to get it. For me I am taking a reference now. Now we are going to develop our plates, that is your reference. We are going to split this into 8 equal parts. Okay, for this 8 equal parts we are going to split this into 8 equal parts. We have split this into 8 equal parts. Now we can start dimensioning about this. So I am going to consider my base as A starting point and my top as P starting point. Okay, so I am going to write over here as, reduce the dimension, A of P, then second point as B of Q, then my third point as C of R, then my fourth point as D of S, then my fifth point as E of T, my sixth point as F of U, okay, then my seventh point as G of V, then my eighth point as H of W. Okay, so we have mentioned our points. Now I am going to develop my reference conditions. Okay, so I am going to start my reference from this point Then I am going to start from this point, then followed by I am going to extend my middle point. Okay, then considering over here, then followed by the last point. So these are our reference conditions. After this reference conditions, we are provided with a height of 60 mm. Okay, now we are going to consider what is our 60 mm. So this is your 60 mm of height. I am going to place it over here, and I am going to cut an arc on this condition. Similarly, moving and placing over here and cut an arc. Then here, if required, you can cut another arc over here also. After this, I am going to joint all the points. Okay, I have joined all the points, and I am going to develop my front view of my cylinder. Okay, so I have developed my front view of my cylinder. So this is your front view. Okay, this is your front view condition. Now we are going to mark the notations for this. So for marking the notation, p dash of only p dash over here, then over here it is e dash. Okay, the points on this xy plane, then q dash of w dash over here, q dash of q dash of w dash. Then on this side, on the middle, it is v dash. Then on this point, it is s dash of u dash. Okay, if you just refer this, you can able to identify how it is taken. On the top, we will start the marking as this is my a dash, first point. Then this is your e dash, the last point. Then on the middle, it is e, that is in the middle it is c dash of g dash. In the middle it is c dash of g dash. Okay, now on the other two sides it is b dash of h dash. Similarly, over here it is d dash of h dash. Okay, now we have completed our marking conditions. So in this question they have provided it is bisecting. So we will keep our compass over here. For bisecting means what happens, it is divided by 2. I am considering my 30 mm. So keep it either from the top side or on the bottom side. Cut an arc. Okay, for cutting this, cut an arc. Okay, cut an arc. Okay, so this is your bisecting condition. In this bisecting condition, you are going to keep your protractor on this point. Okay, on this point, and you are going to consider what is your 40 degree. Okay, I am going to mark this is my 40 degree and this is my starting point. Okay, so your protractor usage is completed. Now we are going to develop our cutting plane. Okay, for this point till passing in this point, this is your cutting plane condition. So in this cutting plane condition, we are going to keep our name as v over here. This is our cutting plate v and t. Okay, so we have obtained our cutting plane. Now you can mark your dimensions. For marking the dimensions, I'm going to consider from this point till the last, then from this point till the last, then we can consider the other dimension from here. So I'm going to mark the dimension for this from here I will take bisecting point to your xy plane. What is the dimension? Then from the top to this, what is the dimension? So now we are going to mark the dimension as 60 mm, 60 mm over here, that is the entire length. Then 30 mm for our bisecting condition. Okay, 30 mm for our bisecting condition. Then followed by marking the diameter of your system, that is diameter of your circle. For the diameter in your question they have provided 45, that is 45. I just keep it over here. Okay, so all your dimensions are now completed. So you can able, if you complete until this is for the projection of solids also applicable, that is your front view and top view. From here if you take the projection, you can able to mark. So over here what we are going to do is that we are going to develop our section, how it looks like on the other side. For developing the section, what we are going to do is that we want to consider for cylinder, it is pi d, that is length is equal to pi into d. Okay, pi into d, so which is equal to 3.14 into your diameter is 45. If you calculate that, it will be 141.3. So that is 141.3. Okay, so we are going to mark our 144.3 over here. For that, what we are going to do is that first we will do the section dimension also, that is 1 dash, this is your 1 dash point, I keep it here. Then 2 dash, that is over here. Then 3 dash on the axis condition. Then 4 dash over here. Then 5 dash on the last. Similarly, when you return 6 dash, you want to mark over here only, not on the border side. Okay, then followed by 7 dash, that is over here on the axis, and 8 dash on this condition, that is you, it is not required to take 6 dash and 8 dash on these lines, you want to take only on the section condition considered. Okay, so after this you want to take a point. Okay, I am going to consider this is my starting point. In this starting point, we are going to develop a line. That means, sorry, let us consider this as your starting point. Okay, after that, we can consider a straight line from here to here. Okay, you just develop a straight line over here with any one of the angle. Then followed by take a distance. Okay, take a distance. Okay, I have taken that point and take any one of the angle with any distance. Okay, now over here we have considered nearly what, 8 points. For that 8 points, consider over here, and sorry, wait, I just used cut a point over here. then that is equal splitting of your lines. We have did this earlier in your class itself. Okay, you want to consider nearly 8 cutting points. If you do this, you can easily calculate your line principles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more we can draw, that is your ninth point, the ending point. Okay. Now take your scale. Now take your scale, keep it on the first point of your line and identify where it starts. So now take your pencil, mark where is 141. It may be over here. Okay. For this 141, now we are going to split this line into all equal parts. Okay. If you just connect one line, okay, if you copy, I hope you have already did this in your class session itself. Splitting this into equal parts as per our requirement. So if you develop these lines, you can be able to develop your split your line into 9 equal parts. If you do with your L scale, it is a simple process. So after developing, that is after developing your section of lines, then you want to mark it with dimensions like, let us consider this as capital P, this is PQ, consider as R, consider this as S, consider this as T, consider this as U, consider this as V, consider this as W, and once again over here as P. Okay. This as P, so your lines may get very from, so from this point to, from this point to P, from here to here, So this is your W, PQR, ST. This is your PQ, EQ. So this is your Q. Then this is your R, Q, R point. Then this is your S point. Then this is your T point, your S point. S point, and then T point, U point, P point, then W point. Then the last is your, this is your W point, and this is your T point. So now we are going to develop our reference lines on this. Develop the reference lines on this from this point to this point, then here to here, then for this and this, then for here to here. So if you use your L scale, you can develop this equal splitting of lines. Okay. Then followed by, consider from this point to here for our reference, and if required you can develop from your cutting plane also. Okay, after this you can mark the top as, this is your A point, then this is your B point, this is your C point, this is your D point, this is your E point, then F point, G point, H point, then once again your A point, that is your closing condition. Now take your compass, keep it at point 1, measure the distance and keep it on the first point and cut an arc. Sorry, cut an arc. Similarly, keep it on P point and cut an arc. Then followed by, keep it on your Q point. Sorry, keep it on the Q point. Rotate your compass and measure the height. Keep it on Q point. Then cut an arc here. Similarly, keep it over here and cut an arc. Then once again keep it on the axis, measure the distance, keep it on R, cut an arc, and over here also keep it over here and cut an arc. So you can able to find it is clearly cutting your bisecting condition. Now keep it on here, measure this distance, keep it on S, cut an arc, then keep it on view and cut an arc. Then the last is your last point. For this, measure the distance, keep it in the center, and sorry, and cut an arc over here. So this is your section representation. For this, going to consider from sorry, going to consider from this point to here, then from this point to here, then the sorry, then from this condition to this condition. Then I am going to mark over here also, which represents that this is your real portion after your section is considered. Okay, then followed by intersect these 2 points. Now you can able to understand how your section looks like. After this, you want to connect all your lines. For this, okay, it's more over like this, but what happens is that it will move like this condition. Okay, your diagram maybe looks like this, but on this alone it may be, see here, it may be, it's like your cutting point, but okay, it may be like a smooth curve. Over here I have considered the big one, but okay, it may looks like this. Okay, this is your development of cone condition, sorry, development of cylinder condition with bisecting. Is that anyone is having any doubt on this? So you want to mention this as your, so over here it is top view, then over here this is your front view, and this is your development view. Then you want to mention that all dimensions are in, are in M. So anyone is having any doubt on this problem?